What's up, guys? This is Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm going to break down why the market's gapping up so far as we had that announcement that came out yesterday from President Trump, what's going on with Tesla news, and how this could be affecting the share price moving forward. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link that's down below or use my QR code right over here to sign up. If you sign up for Moomoo with the link down below and deposit $100, you're going to get $20 of free NVIDIA stock. If you deposit $2,000 or more, you're going to get $50 worth of NVIDIA plus a $100 cash reward. Deposits $10,000 or more to get $300 worth of NVIDIA plus $100, or deposits $50,000 or more to get $1,000 of free NVIDIA stock plus $100. You're also going to qualify for an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash, and the offer ends very soon, so please use my link down below to sign up. Anyways, as far as Tesla's going, I just want to mention that right now, Tesla and the whole market are gapping up very, very strongly. Tesla's up 2.24%. SPY and the QQQ are up 1%. And the question remains, will we see us kind of like dip back down to fill these gaps and then we like bounce from there? Do we just dip and then continue to make a new low? Or are we just about to bottom and just push back up towards the highs like there's no tomorrow? Those are all basically the three main possibilities. So what's going on is there was a lot of negative news that came out during the weekend about how President Trump was threatening these higher tariffs on China, as high as 100% over the restrictions that were coming out on exports on rare earth materials. And President Trump also described China as being very hostile. And with these high tariffs, this caused a lot of panic in the markets. But yesterday in the morning, President Trump put on his Truth Social page that we should not worry about China. It's all going to be fine. The highly respected President Xi just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression for his country, and neither do I. The USA wants to help China, not hurt it. And that's what President Trump ended up saying. So with him saying that, right, this is what's helping the market rebound at least so far. So is this going to be a dead cat bounce? Or are we about to dip? I'll give you guys an answer in just a second. And when it comes to more pieces of news involving Tesla, as you guys know, the NHTSA is investigating the FSD's ability to handle railroad crossings because there's a big probe right now about lots of instances where they said that they violated many traffic laws. I'm seeing headlines on mainstream media about this, although this is an old piece of news. We knew about this before, anyways. Some good news is that Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory is once again being used to ramp up production for the fourth quarter. There's been a lot of adjustments made to kind of like prepare for the fourth quarter, which is known for being, more crazy, especially towards the end of the year. So that's what Tesla's been working on. Also, there's not really much news coming out today. We just have one Fed speaker and there's no other major catalysts. And then finally, there's nothing for earnings until tomorrow when we have BlackRock, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and Citi. Now, today is Columbus Day, at least in the USA. The banks are going to be closed. So, with banks being closed, only the equities markets, the stock market, I think the bonds market are open. So, we're going to see what kind of reaction we get. If you're bullish, you want to see Tesla basically clear this resistance around 426. If we break and hold above that, the 430s are next. If you're bearish, you want to see Tesla basically reject near 426 and start dipping back down. If we essentially lose 420, we're looking for a dip back down to fill this gap around 413. So 420 fails, we could see 413 on Tesla. And as long as we don't lose 410, we could still try to bounce after that. If 410 fails us, we're looking for a retest of the lows. So keep those levels in mind. I would not be surprised if Tesla, if it does come down to fill this gap and then tries to like balance like this. But always watch the levels just to be safe and watch the price action because we're gapping up quite nicely. There's a gap down here. So break 426, we're looking for 430. If that breaks, we're going to be going even higher back up towards the levels we saw on Friday before the sell-off, back up to 440. But if we can't hold above 426, we reject. Watch 420. If that fails us, I think we fill the gap back down to like 413. And we could even dip lower if that doesn't hold. So keep that in mind. It is looking like Tesla's consolidating up here. We're going to see if it consolidates. We'll see if it comes down to fill this gap and bounces or not. But overall, in my video yesterday, I did say to expect us to kind of dip and then bounce. We didn't really dip more, but we did bounce overnight. So we were correct about us getting some kind of bounce thanks to President Trump's Truth Social post. And we'll see if we reject or not from here. For SPY, I'm in the middle right here because If you're bullish on SPY, you want to see us basically break past 666 essentially. So break 664 and 666, and this is going to be looking for once again an approach for all-time highs. But if we don't hold 660, if 660 fails us, okay, we could still dip back down towards 659. And if 659 fails, I think we fill this gap back down towards 653 or below. So it depends on the levels. Break this high right here, then we're looking for 666. If that breaks, we're looking for a bigger breakout. But if we end up losing essentially 659, we're looking for that gap fill below. We're in the middle right now, so be very careful with SPY. We're gapping up very hard, but will we come back down? You have to be very careful. On the QQQ, if we break past 603, we're looking for a breakout for like 608, and then once again back up to the 610s. But if we end up losing 597, there is a risk of us coming back down to fill the gap at 589. So be very careful. The IWM has 243 as our resistance and support down here at 240. We need to break 243 to continue to push. If we lose 240, we're turning back down to fill this gap to 237. It does look a little bit more bullish. It looks like it might try to push for 243. On ES, we need to get back above 6,700 to really continue to pump. If we can't break that, there's going to be a risk of us returning back down towards like the lower 6,600s. On NQ, we mentioned it might bounce near 24,000. That's exactly what happened. But we need to clear 25,000 to continue this run. If we can't get back above 25,000, it might consolidate and turn back down to 24,590. See, Bitcoin pumped all the way up to about 115,500. We need to hold above 116,000 to continue. If we don't, there's going to be a risk of us dipping back down to 113,000. For Nvda, we also gapped up, but we need to break and hold above 190 to continue this run. If it does, we're going higher. If we lose 188, though, we have 185 as our supports alongside 183, so be very careful. On Aapl, we need to get back above 250 to continue. If we don't, there's a gap to fill back down to 245. On AMD, we need to hold above 225. If we don't, there's a gap to fill back down to 215. On Coinbase, we need to get back above 371. If we don't, we have 361 as support and then 356. Amazon has a gap to fill back down to 216. Meta has a gap down to 705. It might be coming down to fill that. Google has a gap to 237, and then Microsoft also has a gap down here at 512. It looks like the tech stocks might be dipping, so I do want to warn you guys to be careful with this gap. Will the VIX continue to push higher? Does it reject here? We did say it might reject off 22, which is what happened already. But because the market's gapping up so much, I do want to warn you to be careful. Tesla does have a gap to fill. It also has resistance up here. If it doesn't hold above 426 and then 430, if we can't break those resistances, then expect this gap to get filled if we can't break those levels. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Have an awesome rest of your guys' days. This is a quick update, and watch your levels to see if we end up coming back down to fill the gaps or not. Just follow the price action, and based off the levels, you will know which way we end up going. I do expect some volatility very soon, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you for listening, and peace out.